What's up, family? Man, we're gonna go in today. You know what I mean? We're going in today, and it is what it is. You know what I mean? Man, sit back, brace yourself, buckle up. Man, it is what it is. Um, chosen ones. Who cares? You know what I mean? What does that mean? You know what I mean? Man, everywhere you turn on social media, people are talking about they're chosen. They're this, they're this, they're this, they're that. And it's almost like religion. You know what I mean? Stay with me, we're going somewhere. It's almost like religious dogma, you know? Everybody's quote unquote Christian. Everybody's quote unquote, a child of God. Everybody's a star seed. Everybody's chosen and all this other stuff. And so I was meditating earlier and I was like, God, what do you want me to share with the people? What's the message for today? And what God had to share with what God was sharing with me while I was meditating, he said, like, Elijah, remember when you were a little kid, Elijah, at the age of 6, you decided that you would live this life. You didn't know what was going to happen. You didn't know where you were going to end up. You didn't know what you were going to talk about. But at the age of 6, you decided. At the age of 6, you decided you'd go anywhere, say anything to anyone I asked you to. Elijah, everybody's talking about being chosen. The problem isn't that they're chosen. Who gives a fuck if they're chosen? The problem is that they haven't chosen to live this life. Stay with me, we're going somewhere. I was like, what are you talking about, God? He said, Elijah, it don't matter whether you're chosen. What matters is, do you decide? Have you decided to walk this life? Have you decided to walk this journey? Have you decided to live this life? See, everybody can't say they've decided. It's a whole lot of motherfuckers running around talking about, I'm chosen, I'm this, I'm that, da, 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 da. But they ain't decided, they ain't made up their mind to walk this motherfucking journey. See, so many people, man, oh yeah, I'm a chosen one. As soon as something bad happens, woe is me, and life's not fair, and and look at these motherfuckers over here, and these motherfuckers over here. As soon as something bad happens, as soon as something rough and challenging happens, man, they throw up their fucking hands. As soon as something rough and challenging, they're ready to fucking cave in. They're ready to fucking quit. They're ready to turn their back on the fucking journey. Because they ain't really decided. They ain't really chose this life. See, it's easy to choose this life when you think it's gonna give you some status. It's easy to choose this life when you think it's gonna give you some clouts. When you think it's gonna give you some followers. It's gonna get you some attention. See, everybody's a chosen one. When they think that, man, oh, look at what I'm getting. Look at the hookups, look at blah, 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 the connections, da, 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 and all the bullshit that they think goes and comes along with being a chosen one. But see, here's the real test. When you're alone at night and nobody's fucking with you, when you're alone at night and nobody's talking to you, when you're alone at night and your phone is dry as fuck, nobody's reaching out to you. Are you still deciding? Or have you already decided? See, when you've already decided, when you've already chosen this life, come whatever may happen, man, when you've already chosen, man, you don't give a fuck whether anybody's fucking with you or not. You don't give a fuck whether people are following you or not. You don't give a fuck whether people are listening to you or not. You don't give a fuck whether people are subscribed to your platforms or people are paying attention to you and people are supportive of you. None of that shit matters when you've already decided. I'm going somewhere, stay with me. I see, the trip is, it don't fucking matter whether you've been chosen. And see, everybody's kind of, man, I'm a chosen one. I'm part of the 144,000. I'm going to heaven. I'm going to sit on the throne of God and all this bullshit. I'm going to sit up in the New Jerusalem and all this stupid ass, ignorant ass, dumb ass shit that we talk about because we don't know what the fuck we talking about. We want to sound and appear to be important. See, when you decide that, man, I'm gonna do this shit, when you decide that I'm gonna be a beacon of hope, that I'm gonna be a beacon of love, when you decide, can't nothing fucking stop you. Nothing. How the fuck y'all run around to, I'm a chosen one, and you fucking depressed? How the fuck you run around to, I'm a chosen one, and you suicidal? I'm saved, I'm anointed, and I'm appointed, and I'm called for this time in life, and you fucking depressed and full of anxiety and fear. Oh, we going there today. I'm just laying the groundwork. How the fuck you a chosen one? And you got all this anxiety, all this depression, all this anger, all this unforgiveness, all of this hatred and animosity and bitterness. How the fuck you chosen and you so full of fucking low self-esteem and self-hatred? Because you haven't decided. You haven't chosen. And that's what God had to show. You didn't choose this shit. You ain't made up your mind yet. You still fucking playing games. You still on the fucking fence, looking to your left and looking to your right, trying to decide what the fuck you gonna do. Trying to decide where you gonna go. I'm a Christian today, I'm Buddhist tomorrow, I'm Muslim the next day, I'm atheist this day, I'm a witch this day, I'm da-da-da-da-da, I'm pragmatic and da-da, and all this other stupid ass shit because you ain't fucking decided yet. You ain't decided. You're chosen. What the fuck you chosen for? How the fuck are you chosen and you ain't chose this shit? And what God had to show me was Elijah. When you decide, when you make up your mind that you're gonna do this shit, man, the opinion of others don't even fucking matter. What other people think about you don't even fucking matter. Whether they support you, they like you or not, it don't even fucking matter. Whether they're tearing you down, telling you you got the devil in you, you're going to hell with, it don't even fucking matter. Why? Because you've already decided that I'm doing this shit. You chose this life. And it don't matter what trials or tribulations, what tests, what obstacles you gotta go through. When you've chosen this, it's a different level. It's a different level of fucking understanding. When you've chosen this, it's a different level of faith and confidence. When you've chosen this, the trials, the tribulations, the obstacles are a whole lot harder. They're a whole lot more challenging. They're a whole lot more difficult. When you've chosen this, man, ain't a fucking devil that can fucking stop you. Ain't a fucking demon or warlock or any other fucking negative energy that can fucking stop you when you've chosen this. See, the problem is that you ain't made up your motherfucking mind of what you gonna really do. You half-assing the game. You half-assing your fucking life. You ain't fucking committed to this. And that's why you could do it sometimes and not do it other times. That's why you could do it when people are watching you. But then when you're all alone and you're lonely and you're frustrated and you're horny and da-da-da-da, man, it's okay, and fuck the bullshit and da-da-da-da, and I give up and I quit and it don't matter and da-da-da, because you ain't fucking committed to the shit. You ain't committed because you ain't really chosen. And then I'm not saying that you ain't chosen in the aspect that God has chosen you. You ain't chosen. You ain't chose God. You ain't chose to walk this thing through. You ain't chose to live this bitch out. You ain't chose. You chose to play the game. You chose to be successful. You chose to be famous. You chose to be well liked. That's what you're choosing. I want to be understood. I want the affirmations and the accolades from the masses. I want to be well liked. I want to be well received. I want to be appreciated and valued. And I understand that. I've struggled with that. And what God had to show me is, Elijah, you struggle with that because you ain't choosing the right shit. You ain't choosing the right shit. Either you gonna choose to live this bitch out regardless of who like you, who fucking with you, who don't like you, who's trying to tear you down, who's trying to sabotage you, who's doing all kind of negative energy and sending all kind of toxic ass shit your way. It don't fucking matter. When you decide to live this life, man, it don't fucking matter what else matters or what else happens. When you decide to walk this shit through, it don't matter to you who comes against you. It don't matter who walks out of your fucking life. It don't matter who rejects you. It don't matter who turns their back on you. It don't matter who thinks you're fucking up. You didn't come here for that bullshit. You came here to live as a beacon of hope and love, a beacon of light. You see, here's the trick about being a beacon of light. The beacon of light don't give a fuck how dark it is around them. The darker it is, the better. But see, we want to be fucking comfortable. We don't want to be in the dark. We fear the unknown. We want to be comfortable. We want to be where the masses are at. We want to be normal. We're trying to keep up with the Joneses. And see, when you came here to be a beacon of light, you came here to stand out in a fucking dark world. That means you don't give a fuck who attacks you. That means you don't give a fuck who's talking about you. That means you don't give a fuck whether they like you or not. None of that shit matters. You came here to stand out in the darkest of places, in the most hopeless of places. And what God had to show me was Elijah. If you came here and you chose to be a beacon of hope, that means you have to be surrounded by hopelessness. Elijah, if you came here to be a beacon of love, that means you got to be surrounded by the unloved and those that believe they're unlovable and those that don't know how to love. They don't know how to love themselves, nor do they know how to love others. So if you came here to be a beacon of love, how the fuck you expect to be loved if you're around people that don't understand fucking love? How do you expect to be a beacon of love surrounded by people that don't know how to love, don't know how to love themselves or you? How do you expect them to love you? How do you expect them to embrace you and cherish you? Man, you chose this life. You chose to be a beacon of love. You chose to be a beacon of hope. You chose to be a beacon of light. So if you're going to be a beacon of light, you have to be placed in darkness. You have to be surrounded by darkness. It means you got to face your fears of the unknown. You got to be willing to be uncomfortable. You got to be willing to stand alone. Are you ready for this? Are you ready for this shit that you're talking about? Everybody want to be a beacon of love. Everybody want to be a beacon of light. Everybody want to be a beacon of hope, but they don't want to go through the process. They don't want to be in the place where they're needed. See, they want to be comfortable and sit in their big homes, drive their fancy cars, and eat comfortably and sleep comfortably and be surrounded by nice people, mannerable people, loving and nurturing people. You didn't come here to be no fucking beacon. You talking the talk, but you ain't living it. You talking this deep spiritual stuff, but you ain't trying to walk that life. You talking this talk, but you ain't really chose this life. You're not choosing this life. You're not choosing to be a beacon of hope, a beacon of love, a beacon of light. You're choosing to be comfortable. You're choosing to be loved. You're choosing to be valued, to be respected, to be adored. See, to be a beacon of hope, to be a beacon of love, to be a beacon of light, you gotta be rejected. You gotta be unwanted. You got to be willing to stand out. You got to be willing to be different. You got to be willing to be different. But y'all want to be the comfortable. Y'all want to be normal. Y'all want to be like everybody else on social media. Y'all want to be like everybody else on YouTube. Y'all want to be like Jay-Z and Beyonce and all these other people. You're chosen. So fucking what? What are you chosen for? What have you been chosen for? Better question is, have you chosen? And what have you chosen to do? What have you chosen to be? See, here's the trick. Things I tell Christians all the time. Stop running around beating people up, telling them what you are. You ain't got to tell a motherfucker you're a Christian. Live your motherfucking life. Your life should be reflective of all the bullshit you spew. As a chosen one, I ain't got to walk around and tell people I'm a chosen one. I'm anointed and appointed and called out. I'm ordained for this shit. I ain't got to tell people that stuff. You ain't got to tell people that shit. Fuck the labels. The real question, and the question I tell Christians and everybody else is your life reflective of the stuff you say? Can I look at your life and see you are who you say you are? Can I look at your life and say, you know what? Based on your character, based on your mannerisms, I see God in you. Based on your mannerisms, based on your morals and your values and your ethics, I see that you're a loving, nurturing, compassionate, giving individual. Based on your life, can the people see? Based on your life. They ain't got to like you. And a lot of them ain't gonna like you. A lot of them ain't gonna respect you. A lot of them ain't gonna appreciate you and value you. Why? Because your life is a reflection of what they're not. Say what you said again. I'm trying to say it different. Your life, when you chosen to walk this shit, when you chosen to be a beacon of love, a beacon of hope, and a beacon of light, you show them what they really ain't. Not that you shine a light on them to show them their faults and their defects and their character flaws and what do. You just show them how they're supposed to live based on the light and the hope and the love that you put out into the world. And they see that they don't meet up to the standards and expectations and the light and the hope that you put out into the world. Not that they got to meet your standards, but they're not even doing anything reflective of being who they say they are. And that's intimidating. It's threatening. And so when they see you living your life, and they see you doing what you do, it pisses them off because they know they're not doing what they're supposed to do. They know that, man, I'm not really living this thing. I'm talking it, but that motherfucker living it. That motherfucker going through the fucking trenches. That motherfucker is reflective of everything is always working out for them. That motherfucker is extremely grateful. Because they're a beacon of hope, a beacon of love, a beacon of light. They have no choice but to be grateful. You can't be a beacon of hope, of love, and light and be negative and be pessimistic and be depressed and suicidal. Be angry and unforgiving. We have to grow up in order to be those beacons. That beacon of hope, that beacon of love, that beacon of light. Now, you're gonna have to make a choice. Every day, you're gonna have to make a choice. Every second of the day, you gotta make a choice. Am I living this thing? Am I walking this thing? Or am I just talking the talk? Man, my hope, my prayer is that when it comes to my life, that those with eyes to see, ears to hear, can understand that man, that bald-headed motherfucker over there named Elijah, that motherfucker keeping it real. That motherfucker true to this shit. That motherfucker's real about this shit. He's genuine. I may not like his delivery. I may not like his choice of words. I may not like the fact that he got crystals. I may not like the fact that he's tatted up. But that motherfucker's real. And whether they say that, think that, man, it really don't matter to me. Because regardless of what people say, regardless of what people do, I'm going to do me. I'm going to be that beacon of hope, that beacon of love, that beacon of light. I just hope and pray that they understand, man, it's hard work. It's hard work to live this thing. It's hard work to be who we came here to be. We can't fake the funk. Because real recognize real. Game recognize game. Man, it's not important whether or not you've been chosen. That don't matter. What matters is, have you chosen? Are you choosing on a daily basis to walk this thing through? Are you choosing on a daily basis to deal with your trauma, your pain, your issues? Are you choosing to stand up in a dark world? Are you choosing to stand up in a hopeless world? Are you choosing to stand up in a loving world and to be those things? Are you choosing that? That's all that matters. That's all that matters. In the grand scheme of life, regardless of how much money you have, regardless of how little money you have, regardless of how many people follow you, subscribe to you, listen to you, none of that shit fucking matters. At all. It don't matter whether you got a boo. It don't matter what your sexual orientation is. What your fucking gender is, what your fucking ethnicity is, what your fucking nationality. None of this bullshit fucking matters. What your political affiliation, none of this bullshit fucking matters. All that matters. All that fucking matters. Are you willing to stand up? Are you willing to choose? See, it's not that you chose this once. I chose this as a kid at the age of 6. But what God had to show me was Elijah. Every day you gotta choose this. Every day you gotta live this. That's what matters. That's all that matters. Regardless of what's going on in life, you have to choose this. Man, I hope and pray that I said something to encourage you, to challenge your way of thinking, to inspire you, to motivate you. We have to grow up. We have to change our perspective. We have to stop playing games. We have to stop playing with this thing called life. Either you're going to be real about it or you're going to keep bullshitting. Grow up.